Om Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk, and we continue with 7 minutes Bhagavad Gita a day. We started looking at verse 16 of chapter 4. We will repeat the verse and read a bit further. So, verse 16. What is action? What is inaction? As to this, even the wise are confused. Therefore, I shall teach thee such action, the nature of action and inaction, by knowing which thou shalt be liberated from the evil of samsara, the wheel of birth and death. 17. For verily, the true nature of action enjoined by the scriptures should be known. Also that of forbidden or unlawful action and of inaction. Hard to understand is the nature path of action. So I'll start with the last statement. Lord Krishna is telling us, don't worry if you did not understand what I've said so far. It is very hard to understand. Hard to understand is the path of action. How to act in a way that will bring us closer to the supreme truth. How to understand. And he's saying, you should know. It is hard, but you should put the effort and know. This is why this teaching is coming. Action and inaction. So in yoga, there are two paths. The path of action, which is called the Pravriti Marga, and the path of inaction, which is called Nivriti Marga. Lord Krishna tells us the path of actions is for the yogis, the path of inaction is for the jnanis. But why is it difficult then? Here I gave you the whole definition. Why Lord Krishna is telling us this information, it is hard to understand. Because in yoga, when we talk about action and inaction, we do not talk about whether the body is active or not, and the teaching will come soon. We're talking about something that is beyond that. So, for instance, Arjuna is making the mistake of associating the activity of the body with inaction. He's telling Lord Krishna, I will not fight. I will go to the forest, I will become a mendicant, live on alms. I will refrain from the physical action, therefore it will be inaction. And he's asking Lord Krishna in chapter 3, yes, you're telling me about this wonderful path of inaction, and yet you're sending me to do this terrible action. Why? I'm your friend. Why are you sending me to something that's less good, to something that's terrible, to something that I've already said will not bring me happiness either way? And Lord Krishna again and again explains that the association of action with the activity of the body is a mistake. Moreover, here, Lord Krishna makes it even clearer for us, saying, there is action, there is inaction. Those are two completely different things, and in yoga it is said you cannot practice both of them at the same time. Because if you are in a state that you are able to practice really in action, you really are able to do things as an inaction, and we will soon see what it means. The path of action is no longer relevant for you. Actually, it's no longer possible for you because you are not in the state of mind of action. So, both things cannot be practiced together. But for many, many, many of us, the path of action is the right thing. It will allow us to grow spiritually. It will allow us to be a proper member of society. We discussed this in chapter 3 when we discussed the signs of the ideal society, how to act dharmic, and why it is so very important for the entire society. And we will be doing our duty. This is the right thing. So within the sphere of action, if we act properly, as Lord Krishna is telling us, for verily the true nature of action enjoined by the scripture should be known, also that of forbidden or unlawful action and inaction. So we have three things. Within the realm of action, there are actions that should be done and actions that should not be done. And outside this sphere, there is inaction. And it's very important for us to understand this, especially since we are acting. I assume that most of the people who are listening to this talk have still not reached the complete disidentification that is required for the path of inaction. So we are acting. Because we are acting, we need to know what to do, because when we do things, we can do things right and we can do things wrong. And it will have consequences. And Lord Krishna, out of compassion, wants us to do things right. This is the message here. So the teaching is what should be done, what should not be done for your own good. It is not just a moral code that somebody forces on somebody. This is for your own good. What should be done, what should not be done, so that you will gain the most benefit from acting. And this is the teaching that is about to come, and also about the difference between action and inaction and what really each one of them is. And this we will discuss in the next videos. Please join us. Om Shanti.